Llévatelo para allá. Ahí lo metemos entre la silla, ¿ven? Ahí vai dar um puta pericial. Se ve toda la canillera, muchachos. Todos tienen su canillera puesta. Va a tener que montar su teléfono de arriba. Hijo, oye, ¿habla de aquí o qué? Bello. Afuera de la cancha, ¿dónde está la abierta ahí? Se ve como al revés.
Welcome into Cadence SFC, Joliet, Illinois, at the Cadence Soccer and Futsal Center for another matchup in the NFPL. Matchup is underway. Cadence will get the ball to start out. Ball moving around quickly. We had some trouble with the camera prior to the game starting as that kick goes wide. We'll talk about the keys to the game for Cadence. Their big thing is just to perform, run, and play futsal. This is their first game of the season. So 0-0 up to this point, but head coach and director of player personnel, Guy Nunez, third season since they started tracking records. This ball goes out wide. Off the chest of Owen Daughtery, so it goes back to Cadence. But third season in the league, 6 wins, 22 losses, 3 ties. So looking to improve upon that. Last year, this team did not win a single game. Inter Detroit entering their first season in the NFPL. So that ball goes to Daughtery and just dribbles it out of bounds. So ball will go back to Anderson Pinyango. And play will start again. Keys to the game for Inter Detroit are to get the ball to their difference makers. They specifically highlighted Edwin Gomez, as well as Nate Booz and Ivan Barrera, 3 starters on their team. The first 2 of those as that shot goes wide. Now it goes off the mark. Here it is. Possession going back to Cadence in the attack zone. Looked like it was off the arm, not going to call it though. That's Nestor Lopez with the ball. Shot a little too high over the head of Xavier Borjas in goal for Inter Detroit. Edwin Gomez and Nate Booz, 3 goals each. 2 assists for Booz and 1 for Gomez, so 5 and 4 points, excuse me. As here's Gomez with a shot. Not a goal there, trying to, I don't know. I am commentating from my humble abode in Ann Arbor, Michigan, not in the Chicagoland area tonight. So what you see is what I'm seeing. So I'm gonna try my best to compensate accordingly. Big thanks to the folks at Cadence for being able to get this stream together. It seemed pretty last minute for a lot of them, as a lot of these futsal groups are focused on the game that's going on or the on-court action. So the ball's gonna be dribbled out of frame. So they're worried about putting a good performance on. They want to, sometimes the stream comes last on the list of priorities. So on that department, we'll see how the game goes up to this point. But in goal for Cadence SFC is going to be number 18, Edouard Bande. Pretty much an all-new team for Cadence. One of their top performers, Edric Padilla, the past 2 seasons is not playing tonight and might not be on the roster at all. This is kind of a new team where their youth academy has grown so much, as here's Gomez with the shot off the leg of Arnaldo Camacho, excuse me. Ball goes back to Nestor Lopez. Ball's gonna be dribbled slightly out of bounds. this Cadence SFC team, their youth academy has grown so much that now they have a team where they can have both a professional team as well as a kind of semi-pro younger team. In the past years, they've played kids as young as 15 years old against these grown men. So now they're able to play 2 separate teams, expand their staff a little bit. So Cadence rocking up an entire new roster in its entirety. Thank you to Guillermo Bravin for your subscription to the channel. That's a new one for me, I'll be honest. I haven't seen a notification pop up. Awesome to see you guys, your support of Cadence SFC. Inter Detroit starters, Edwin Gomez, Nate Booz, as we talked about. Owen Daughtery taking Eduardo Cardena's place. Is that free kick? A little high off the mark. Bounces off the wall. Eduardo Cardenas, if you watched last week's game against Futsal Factory, he got a double yellow, so he's serving his red card suspension. First goal of the game, Ivan Barrera. His first goal of the season. And Inter Detroit will start out on top. We'll try to keep an eye on the time here for you, but as of now, it is 1-0 Inter Detroit. 0-2 up to this point, trying to get their first points of the season. And here's another quick goal, Edwin Gomez Ruiz. Oh no, excuse me, that's Ismael Ochoa from Crest Hill, Illinois. Oh my goodness. We saw this a little bit last week, Inter Detroit running away early with the game. A quick turnover by Cadence. And it is now a multiple goal game for Inter Detroit early on. So again, broadcasting remotely from Ann Arbor, Michigan, the game taking place in Joliet, Illinois. So what you see is what I see. We'll try to keep time. And here's another goal! Inter Detroit! Oh my goodness! And now a timeout's gonna have to be taken by Cadence SFC. 3-0. Holy smokes. We'll take some time. Oh, point that camera up just a little more. Let's see that time. 3-0 Inter Detroit. So as I was starting to mention before, the onslaught of goals early on in this game, Eduardo Cardenas, he got a double yellow last week. So he's serving his red card suspension today. He was originally supposed to play today and serve the suspension at a home game at a later date, but he's called into work. A lot of these guys work full-time jobs in addition to playing futsal. So he is serving his suspension today. He also is tied with the team lead with Gomez and Booz at 3 goals for him. So not able to join the team today. But in his place, Owen Daughtery from San Diego, California in the pivot spot. Ivan Barrera, who scored a goal already in the Fixo, and Xavier Borjas in goal. So 3 quick goals. Not sure who scored those last 2. We got Ismael Ochoa from Crest Hill, Illinois, along with Ivan Barrera, who scored the opening goal. But that third one, a little beyond me. Apologies there. If you've heard a broadcast of mine before, my name is Garrett Pogg. I appreciate you joining us here at the NFPL YouTube channel. But typically, you know, things are a little more high octane from yours truly. But with the nature of how this game has gone so far, good save there, Xavier Borjas. We're going to be a little more relaxed on how this game goes. Here's Gomez Ruiz. And the foul there is going to give the ball back to Inter Detroit. Right outside the circle there. Awesome to see a court dedicated to futsal. If you've watched any of the Futsal Factory games, they usually have to tape lines on the ground. So to see that they have a facility that's dedicated to this great sport, it's great to see. Free kick off the legs of that wall of defenders you saw right in front of you. Nate Booz is going to take it out for a second. Ball goes back out, so it is going to be, looks like some sort of free kick retake. No, it is going to be out of bounds, it looks like. Guerrero wanted another goal, not going to get it. Cadence trying to move the ball towards the other side. Not going to be able to do so. And this game is for sole possession of second place in the Midwest. Futsal Factory Academy, based in Canton, Michigan, is the overwhelming favorite to win the Midwest. So we'll see how that goes. But they're already up 6 points already in the Midwest. Sorry, referee, no regard for the camera. I mean, what can you do? Goal, not quite. It was a goal. It was a shot towards the goal, but it was saved by Edouard Bande. Good for him. The shot is off the mark, just to the left. Xavier Borjas not needing to extend his arms in order to save that one. 3-0 lead you see on your screen. Inter Detroit, just quick goals in succession within a minute of each other. We saw last time around, Inter Detroit went up 3-1 early within the first 4 minutes of the game against Futsal Factory, and they ended up blowing that lead. They lost that game 9-4. So only able to score one more goal after that star goalkeeper, Robert Damron, was able to come in and only allow one goal for the rest of the game. Shot wide off the mark. That was George Musali trying to score that one. For Sergio Reyes. A lot of Illinois folks here for Inter Detroit. Head coach Edwin Jimenez has a lot of contacts in the Illinois area, including some from Crest Hill, Aurora, and Round Lake Beach. Wasn't sure, didn't know there were any beaches in Illinois, but nice to hear that there's some good stuff going on in that state. Like we said, 3-0 lead. Here early, here's a goal. Oh, not quite. Saved. I thought it went in the back of that. Must have went off the right goal post. It goes out for a corner. That shot taken by George Masali. Wasn't given an indication of any starters for Cadence's side. Just a lot of miscommunication. They tried to get in the back right post. That was Jonathan Alves, but not able to do so. Possession goes back to Inter Detroit. And a quick turnover gives him another chance. Looking to put it in, and he, not quite, oh my. Thought it was in the back of the goal for sure. Some fast play going the other direction, not gonna get it there. But Inter Detroit retains possession once again. Here's Gomez Ruiz. Turning to your side. Tough to tell which way the ball moves when it's out of frame, but we're doing the best we can. Here's Giovanni Aguilar with the ball. Miscommunication with his teammate. So it goes back out to Inter Detroit. It's going to be Rafael Hernandez, one of the Crest Hill, Illinois natives, coming in. And that's a quick turnover on the other side. Ochoa sending that ball out. Quick's going to go far right. Brings it back in for Inter Detroit. Press defense from Cadence SFC. Kick over the top. Ochoa trying to bring it back in. Here's Sergio Reyes. Ball's out of bounds. This is George Masali. Getting the ball back, Fixo spot. His team playing a very forward. Quick turnover, some excellent passing. Great save. Not able to save that one though. Sergio Reyes. Off of the knees of Edouard Bande makes this a 4-0 game in Inter Detroit's favor. And this Cadence team that would lose by big numbers, an 0-8-1 record last season. A completely new team from top to bottom, but it's getting ugly here early. Here's to hoping that the home team can start to put things together. That's going to be a foul. So if you're just joining us, we appreciate you joining us here for an NFPL Saturday night. So it's going to be some quick passing as well. Within the first 2 or 3 minutes, Inter Detroit would go up. Great save there from Xavier Borjas, but Inter Detroit would go up 3-0 in the first 2 minutes, forcing Cadence to take a timeout. And now Inter Detroit has scored again. First goal coming from Barrera, second from Ismael Ochoa. I'd have to look back at the footage to see who scored the third one. And that fourth one scored by Sergio Reyes. So Ochoa and Sergio Reyes scoring their first goals in their NFPL career. As far as I know, I don't believe they played for any NFPL teams in the past. Cadence going to get the ball in the danger zone. Decides to reset the offense instead. There's Masali with the kick and turnover now. Jonathan Alves going back. Keeper has to reach for it. And the ball's going to go over the top and into the hands of Borjas. Wanted Ochoa on that pass, not going to be able to get it. Excuse me, that is Giovanni Vivero. And that's going to be an easy goal. Oh my goodness. Top shelf for Anderson Peñango. Cadence now trying to climb their way back into this game. It was starting to become ugly early, but wow. Xavier Borjas not reaching the hands up, and that ball went, like we said, top shelf. Straight into the top of the net. Still kind of amazed at that goal. And that clock up top that we thought was going to be keeping time is actually not. They're not. Must be keeping time on the court. Makes my job that much easier. But Anderson Peñango, as far as I'm concerned, he is. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Here's a quick shot here from Owen Daughtery. Not going to be able to capitalize. San Diego native. Inter Detroit trying to do something here. A little bit of slick passing there. Wanted Booze, not going to get him. Here's Inter Detroit near side. Save by Bonde. And that pass going to be off the mark. Masali wanted Camacho there. So 4-1 score here early. Time is being kept on the court, so I have no idea how much time there is in the first half. Remember, futsal, 2 20-minute halves here. Pass over the top. Not going to find anybody there. Possession goes back to Cadence. And a foul there. Probably worthy of a yellow card. He is going to get one. So that is Owen Daughtery, his first yellow card. The yellow cards were an issue for Inter Detroit last year. Or sorry, not last year, last week when they played Futsal Factory in the 9-4 loss. And that was a game, like we said, they were up 3-1 after 4 minutes, tied 4-4 at the half, and were not able to score any goals from there. So today's game is the first half of a doubleheader. They will play tomorrow at noon Central Time. And the Midwest teams, they only play 6 games in a season. So after tonight, they're already halfway through their season. So after tonight, if they were to lose to Cadence tonight, let's say, the best they could do is 500 or worse, depending on if they were to win or tie those games. So this doubleheader weekend, very important for both teams, especially Cadence trying to make a name for themselves. Only 6 wins in 3 years, and that's another goal! Arnaldo Camacho! Cadence getting themselves back into it. And we have a game on our hands. We thought it was going to be one of these games where Intro Detroit would run away early, but might just be a high-scoring affair. Here's Booz. Ball's going to go off the mark from Vivero. Camacho wanted another one, not going to get it. A lot of power on these Cadence futsal strikes. Wanted to find his teammate in the corner, not going to be able to do so. Booz running into the keeper. Keeper knocking Booz over, wanted the foul, not going to get it. Here's Olvis Solis. Wanted to go Lazo, not going to find him. The pass is going to go out of bounds. So those 2 goals that we've seen. Oh my goodness. Looks like another goal was scored, this time Nate Booz. We might be in for a 27-20 final score with the way this is shaping up. Only a couple minutes in, and you can see Bande hands on his knees. He is not satisfied with that one. Nate Booz scoring his 4th goal of the season. Excellent play from him up to this point. From Troy, Michigan. Wanted a foul there, not going to get it. Edwin Gomez-Ruiz trying to stop, and Camacho not going to be able to get his left foot on the ball the way he wanted to, so it goes out. Side out. Central Detroit team. Good defense there. That's Nestor Lopez. The ball goes out of bounds. Cadence player nearly collides with the referee. Gomez-Ruiz wants a foul, not going to get it. Excuse me, that's Rafael Hernandez. Ball not moving the way you quite want it to. There's 2 balls in that corner, so I'm not sure how they're keeping track of which one is the official ball and which one isn't. The referee acknowledges that and is going to move the ball accordingly. So he's going to shove that thing out of there. We'll get back to play. 5-2 score early. My approximation is we're about 6 minutes into the game, so we're averaging a goal a minute. Camacho, far side, and that's going to go out of bounds. That goes off the mark. It looks like we're going to get a timeout here from Inter Detroit. A lot of Spanish-speaking folks in the chat. We appreciate your support of NFPL Athletics. That ball is going to be knocked out of there, not the official futsal ball that they're looking for. So even though I'm not able to understand a lot of the comments, I can get a good sense with a lot of the folks celebrating Cadence's success. We appreciate you taking some time to check out the NFPL Saturday night action from the Cadence Sports Center in Joliet, Illinois. Play has resumed. Cadence is going to get the ball. Roughly 5 minutes have passed here. And that's a tackle from Ivan Barrera. They're not going to call it, though. Save off the mark. And that's going to be another goal. Nate Booz. I don't know if he saw it there in the far side of the corner. It was Ivan Barrera had his arms wrapped around the defender, pulled him to the ground. Ref doesn't notice it. Excuse me, let me mark it there. That was Nate Booz who scored the goal. And Barrera, one of the more aggressive players in this game. Not only in the league, just in the game as a whole. Inter Detroit takes a 4-goal lead. Ball's gonna almost knock it to the camera. Great. Good gentleness from Jonathan Alves to make sure that the camera's not knocked over in the process. Here we go. Barrera getting knocked over again. Turnover, though. The other side, Nate Booz wants a 3rd goal. Going to go off the leg of Solis. Let's make sure I mark that. My notes here. Nate Booz, 2 goals on the day. If you think about all the guys that get yellow cards in this game, Barrera, I think, managed to avoid getting a single yellow card last week against Futsal Factory, even though his aggressive play came up there. But Barrera's straight-up takedown of a man was instrumental in helping Inter Detroit score a goal. Excellent save by Borjas there. Straight shot. Talked about it from Cadence. A lot of power in these shots, so you have to react very quickly if you want to save those. Recruited a lot of international players. Again, this is not the same Cadence team that we've seen in years past. Borjas went out to save that one, didn't need to. But Cadence was used to playing their youth guys and more so didn't necessarily care about the results. They just wanted to get guys adjusted to the game. So a lot of high school players playing against these grown men. Here's a turnover. Solis wants a shot, not going to take it, finds a teammate. That's Lopez. Near side, Aguilar. Ball rolls out of bounds. Goes back to Inter Detroit. But recruited a lot of international players. That ball is off the mark. Cadence did. So this is not your granddad's Cadence SFC. They want to make some noise in the NFPL this season. Top 2 teams in each division will qualify for the semifinals. Luckily for the Midwest, there's only 3 teams in the Midwest, so only one will be left out. Futsal Factory, the overwhelming favorite to go to the finals. Already 6 points in, just a third of the season for them. After this weekend, Inter Detroit will be through 2/3 of their season, so these points instrumental. And there's going to be foul as that's a player lying on the ground. That's that's Ivan Barrera. And it is going to be a yellow. Not sure on who. Oh, that is number 4, George Musali. And he's probably saying, well, didn't you see earlier in the game when he grabbed me and threw me to the ground? Not sure if that was Musali on that play, but say what you want about Barrera. He's an effective player, plays great defense, is somehow able to get away with a lot of these calls. Referee going to take possession of the screen. Not anymore. Musali finds a teammate. Passing back and forth. A lot of South American players for this Cadence SFC team. I don't know the hometowns of any of them specifically, so not able to highlight the great countries these guys reign from, but hopefully in future games we're able to do so. Shot is off the mark. Play did not resume, though. That was Nestor Lopez who wanted a shot there. The play resumes. Here's Musali. Now to Lopez. Solis trying to save the ball. He will, but it goes back to Inter Detroit. Shot on the other side, off the mark. That's Reyes. Back to another Inter Detroit player. Alvis Solis goes back. That's Musali. Ball's far side and out of bounds. Again, game taking place in Joliet, Illinois. Garrett Pog, yours truly on the mic. broadcasting from Ann Arbor, Michigan. So the screen that you see is the screen that I see. So I'm trying my best to kind of use some context clues for things that are taking place off screen. There's gonna be some commotion on the court. And I don't know if I've seen any goal go into the Cadence SFC net per se. I'm just kind of using context clues and seeing the celebrating away players to dictate whether the ball goes in the back of the net or not. Again, over 50 of you watching tonight. Thank you so much for your support of the NFPL. Fun matchup here, an important matchup for both sides. Trying to take sole possession of the second place seed in the Midwest. Danger zone here. Ochoa wanted a teammate, not gonna find him, gonna have to reset the offense. Ball goes off the leg of Solis. Please don't run into the camera. that's all we have. So Solis will get the ball back. Captain's band on for him. Wants a shot, gonna get it. Oh, Borjas jumped towards the ball, but it was able to jump backward and stretch into the air to knock that ball away. The Pontiac native, he's been excellent up to this point. Here's a shot, not gonna go in, and yes, it will! Was it deflected or not? Oh, now gonna be some commotion there. If I have it right, it was deflected off of Nestor Lopez's shoulder maybe? But Cadence able to get a break there. I'm not sure that's how they wanted to go, but it was the initial save of Xavier Borjas that allowed that ball to be deflected. Move all around. Are they gonna call that a goal or not? I have it marked on the screen just to see, just to make sure first. And looks like the refs are gonna have a word with Borjas and everybody else. Looks like there's something being marked in the book, so I'm not sure if that is the goal itself or it's the potential yellow card for words with the ref. Conversations being had. I'm not in any of them, so we're looking to see what those are first. Only 2 referees there on the court tonight, whose names escape me. I wrote them down somewhere. Looks like there was a potential injured player there for Cadence. Walking towards his bench now. Everybody having their words with the refs. Cadence looks a little upset. It looks like one of the coaches there. Potentially head coach Guy Nunez. Excuse me, it is going to be Jose Banda, excuse me. They're going to count it as a goal, so goal stands. 3-6 is the score. Looks like they want, the Cadence side probably wanted something a little more towards the Inter Detroit side. Some sort of foul. Not sure what the foul count is, so again, we use context clues there. Wanted a teammate there, not gonna be able to get him. It was Nestor Lopez scoring that goal. That's who we're gonna award it to for now. Check some of the stuff at halftime, make sure it's all fact checked and corrected for you. Shot off the mark. Possession back to Inter Detroit. Sergio Reyes. Chip shot resets the offense for Inter Detroit. Reyes back to Ochoa. Excuse me, Ochoa was on the near side there. Lopez wants another one, saved by Borjas. Back the other way. And Anderson Pinago, who scored the opening goal for Cadence, able to send that one out. Again, time is being kept on the court, even that scoreboard that you see towards the top of your screen doesn't have a time on it, so kind of using context clues to see what the time is. I imagine we're roughly halfway through the first half here. If that, I can't imagine more than 10 minutes has elapsed up to this point. Quick passing, slick passing, that's Alves in the corner. This is gonna be a corner. Ball moves in, that's Nestor Lopez. Wants a shot, not gonna get it. And a teammate not out there, but they will retain possession. 6-3 the score here. It's been a scoring bonanza. Roughly goal a minute pace for both sides, or in total, I should say. Keeper out of the net. They want the ball. Gianni Vivero had a shot, potentially not able to take it, wanted a teammate instead. Here's Arnaldo Camacho to take it out. Excuse me, Bande is gonna get the ball back. Cortez. Ball knocked around a little bit everywhere. High ceilings here, so you can kind of move the ball as you wish. We've seen in other futsal courts how a low ceiling can kind of impact the way you play the ball. Here we go, inside. Lopez wants another one, not gonna get it. Saved by Xavier Borjas. And even though he's allowed 20 goals up to this point, he's played excellent his first 2 weeks this season. Excuse me, 23 now, if you include this game. Bande wants a shot. Here's Lopez, now near side. Cadence in the attack zone. Trying to get past his defender. Lopez shot too high. Inter Detroit gets the ball back. Go Lopez up the top, over the top. Time being kept on the court, so just using a rough estimate, we're probably halfway through the first half here. Bande gets the ball back. And this press offense from Cadence, they're trying to move the ball quickly. They recognize the position they're in where they've already allowed 6 goals up to this point. There's teams that don't allow 6 goals in an entire game, let alone halfway through a game. Booz wanted a shot, gonna be deflected by Bande. Great save from him. Vieiro now back. Shot off the mark. They are gonna call a foul, so good free kick opportunity here for Inter Detroit. You'll see the wall form, 2 men. That's Solis and Pinago standing next to each other. Speaking of standing next to each other, here's the referee right in our view. Only in futsal. Hey, I love the sport. Trying to grow it as a whole. Sometimes there's some growing pains, and broadcasting these games remotely is one of them. Here's Pinago back to Alves. Swinging it around, press defense from Inter Detroit. Solis, captain, gonna get the ball back, deflected. Wanted to swing around and knock that ball in, won't be able to do so. And possession goes back to Detroit. Quick turnover. Solis gonna get another shot at it, potentially. Shot deflected and out of bounds. There's the corner. Jonathan Alves, and gets it in! The captain, Alves Solis. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name. God bless him, he scored the 4th goal for Cadence. Moved quickly off the corner, so quick that I almost looked away from the screen and missed it. Play resumes, but Cadence slowly wiping away the lead that Inter Detroit had. They were up 4 goals at one point, now just up 2. That goal a minute pace. Like I said, if you're in, if you like watching goals, this is gonna be the highlight video for you. I'm excited to see what our, oh, another goal! This time, Ismael Ochoa, Crest Hill, Illinois native, scores his second of the game. Oh my goodness. We're not sure about the timing, but it is still the first half. This might be the highest scoring futsal game of all time. We might have to check with the record books at half to see at what point we'd have to get. Here's a chance for another goal. Oh, if I were Pinyango, I would have stuck with it. Had a decent shot, only the keeper in front of him. Solis saves that ball. Keeps it in bounds. Swinging the ball around. Cadence deflects it, kicks and deflects it, excuse me, off the leg of a Detroit player. So it goes back to Cadence SFC, Soccer and Futsal Club. This is a team that plays all year round. Somewhere to enter Detroit Futsal Factory, and it's another goal! Oh my goodness! Jonathan Alves! You get a goal, and you get a goal, and you get a goal! Ha ha! 7-5 game. It is still the first half. And now that's another turnover, excuse me. Getting a little excited, can you blame me? This is one of the craziest games already. We're only halfway through the first half. Turnover, Solis wants a shot, oh, almost had another one. Musali deflects that ball just a little too high over the net. Excuse me, that was Aguilar. There's the defense, and it was definitely touched by the hand of a Detroit player. Looked like he was given a card there. No, he's just given a knee brace back or some sort of pad or something. Oh, sorry, that was a shin guard. So trying to see what the result is here. He touched it with his hand in a certain area. Oh, it is going to be a penalty kick. So the foul marker must have been crossed. And we talked about that goal a minute pace. Inter Detroit has a chance to build on their lead here. It's going to be Nate Booz. Scored 2 already, looking for a hat trick. Bande guarding his first goal of the season. Get out of our way, ref. And it's blocked. Bande with the save. Now saving the ball once again. Not a hat trick quite yet. Excellent work from him up to this point. We got a whole half of the court that is shaded from us. I'm going to need our camera guy to move it back the other direction. Booz wants, oh, shot almost in there. I believe that was Edwin Gomez. Bande, quick passing. Always sends that ball as far as humanly possible. Luis, oh, try the nutmeg. Well, he did nutmeg the defender, not the keeper, though, able to save it there. Way to dive in on his left side. Edouard Bande has allowed 7 goals, but some of the saves he's made are a beauty to watch. Excellent passing. They wanted it foul, not going to get it. It is going to go out of bounds. And the Cadence players throwing their arms up like, what the heck? What are we doing here? And like I've said up to this point, time is being kept on the court. So I'm not sure of it. We're trying to estimate it as the game goes on. I would imagine we have about 6 minutes left in the first half. Deflected off his hand, smacking that ball on the ground. Is Bande there? Solis able to retain it back. Shot off the mark, at least what I believed was a shot. Let's see if this works. Does this work? Yep, time on the court. So I'll just put that there. But it is the first half. time is being kept on the court. So hopefully I can kind of give some folks a message who are not understanding the words coming out of my mouth. That's Aguilar with the ball. Sends it back. Masali swinging around. Nate Booz, tough defense. Not able to stop it there, but here's Booz with the ball. Gomez wants the ball back, but it is gonna be Booz. Excellent save. Gomez with the shot there. The right hand of Bonde saving it there. Oh, another goal! There it is. Who was it on that one? I'll have to see. I believe it was number 6, Giovanni Aguilar. So 6 goals, 6 different goal scorers for Cadence SFC. Oh my goodness, dude. 6-7 score the first half. Barrera was off the court for some time. He's back on. Looking for another score there, and I can get it. That was Nestor Lopez trying to get it to his teammate. Here's Nate Booz. Knocked over. They're going to call a foul there. George Masali not happy with the call. Does that make it another penalty kick? Not sure. It looks like the ball's going to be placed there. So not quite. It's just going to be a free kick. Everyone's going to have their say first. Everyone's going to talk about it for quite some time. The ref's call is the ref's call. I haven't seen many instances where a player talking to a ref has resulted in the call being overturned. We're just going to take this timeout visibility off. I don't know. Not sure how many fouls are taking place at the moment. Game's taking place in Joliet, Illinois. Commentator reporting from Ann Arbor, Michigan. So what you see on the screen is what I see. Nobody's in front of the goalpost besides our keeper, Edouard Bande. Probably recognizes he's not going to take a direct shot. He's going to want a teammate. So Cadence receiving the call from their head coach, Jose Medina. Oh, shot. He did take a direct shot. It was a little too far wide to the left. And Inter Detroit trying to hang on to a 7-6 lead. Shot off the mark there. Excellent defense there from Barrera to send that ball out. Ball far side. Here's Aguilar. Gets a side out. Aguilar wants it back in. Ball moves back in. Here's Booz on the turnover. Sends it right foot. In there! Nate Booz! Oh my goodness, hat trick for him. 8-6 lead. My guess is that there's not too much longer here in the first half, but this is already one of the highest scoring halves in NFPL history. So ball goes back into play. Inter Detroit to Cadence. Leading. Oh, another goal! Nestor Lopez! Wow! 15 goals, 1 half. You can't ask for anything better than this. First multi-goal scorer for Cadence. That's his second of the day, second of the season, as this is the first game in Cadence's season up to this point. Ball in the attack zone. Cadence trying to tie it up before half. Not going to be able to do so. Possession goes back the other way. No, it won't. It's going to stay with Cadence. My apologies there. Attack zone once again. Here's almost another goal for Giovanni Aguilar, just a little too far to the right. Had a chance there to tie up the game. And a game that's so important here in the NFPL, in the Midwest Division. Winner takes sole possession of second place. These teams will play tomorrow as well, so a chance to split the standings there. Almost had a goal there. That was Edwin Gomez. Tied for the, well, not anymore. Nate Booz, now 6 goals on the season. Leads Inter Detroit in goals. And I believe that's going to be the halftime whistle. Well, a lot of talk going on there. We're going to treat it like it's a halftime whistle. If any play resumes back on the court, I'll be sure to be here, remind you of it all. For all the action, wow, what a half. 8-7 in favor of Inter Detroit. A lot of multi-goal scorers, including Nate Booz, now scoring 6 on the season. Ismael Ochoa in his NFPL debut. Sergio Reyes and Ivan Barrera scoring his first goal. For Cadence SFC, 7 goals, 6 different goal scorers. Let's name them. Anderson Pinago, Arnaldo Camacho, Nestor Lopez scoring 2. The captain, Ovi Solis, Jonathan Alves, and Giovanni Aguilar. Excellent stuff here. If I have any sort of other halftime remarks to make, I'll be sure to make them for you. But I believe we will get a 15-minute break until the start of the second half. We'll see you then.
ahorita lo llamo mañana, mira, ven. Vamos, aquí no sé. Mañana te llamo. O ahora. Vale. ¿Verdad? Si se está viendo el libro. Sí, se está viendo. ¿Y por qué se está viendo al revés? Yo no sé, marico. ¡Preto! ¿Por qué se está viendo al revés? Se está viendo al revés el juego. Porque yo estoy viendo yo también. A ver, ¿cómo se ¿cuánto va? ¿8 así? Aquí te ve de cabeza, ya se ve bien. Aquí está de cabeza. ¿Está viendo bien?
Getting a quick hi from Anderson Viñago. It's coming up to the camera saying, hey, what up, people? It's been an exciting first half. 8-7 in favor of Inter Detroit. 15 goals in 20 minutes. Not often you see that. And I spent the entire halftime break talking to some folks who I live with about how exciting of a game it's been up to this point. Again, we're going to remind you guys, time is being taken on the court. They have a timer at the very top of the stadium, but not being used, not even keeping track of the goals on each side. So we're going to estimate just a little bit up to this point. Play resumes back. That's going to be Rafael Hernandez. Hasn't got a lot of time. Here's a quick shot and goal! Nestor Lopez tying it up! Oh my goodness. We talked about the goal a minute pace. Lopez making sure we hit it. That's his third of the season and of the day. Hat trick for him. Less than a minute, less than 5 seconds into the second half, we get a goal from Cadence. So here we go. Possession back to the team from Joliet, Illinois, where this game is taking place. My name is Garrett Pogg, reporting from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Ref asking him to reset the ball. And because he didn't reset the ball correctly, the ball will go back to Detroit. Here's Vivero. Now back, here's Ochoa. Scored 2 goals and an open net, and he scores! Inter Detroit! There it is. Gianni Vivero from Round Lake Beach, Illinois, scoring his first goal of his NFPL career. Holy smokes. Losing my voice over here. So 9-8 in favor. Here's another chance for Detroit. Oh, great save. Edouard Bande, who looked like he was praying in the middle of the court. Here's Bande trying to get involved with the offense. And he's going to be pseudo-involved. Oh, a turnover here. An open shot and an easy foul call. Looked like he sent Ismael Ochoa on his back. So they're going to get the ball very close to the net for a free kick. And he is still on the ground. Hopefully everything's okay. And he's going to be able to get back up. Hate saying this, but you got to really take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to these soccer and futsal games in terms of who's on the ground, who's legitimately hurt, and who isn't. Rafael Hernandez will be the one taking the free kick. I estimated a 15-minute halftime break. It was probably closer to 10 minutes if anything. Here's a goal! Oh! Straight in the back of the net. Rafael Hernandez scoring his first. Makes it a 10-8 lead. If we get a timeout call here, I wasn't able to do it during the halftime mark, but we will look up what the highest scoring futsal games are. Try to see if this is in the same ballpark, because I mean, this is only my second year in the futsal game, but I don't know if I've ever seen a score line that's looked as crazy as this. Here's Hernandez, orange shoes and all. Sends it out. Inside, gonna be taken away. Now turnover. Great save, Bande! And the shot is off the mark. That was Ochoa with 2 shots in a row. First on target, second, not so much. Hernandez now sends it over. That's Ochoa. Oh, has the quick. Looking for the quick strike to Hernandez. Great play design there, not able to execute. Here's Solis. Near side, Lopez. They're going to say he was fouled there, so they'll get a free kick on the far side. Referee right in the... I mean... Well, I appreciate the camera movement, but you know, what are you supposed to do? Hey, there it is. I don't know his last name, but our camera guy's name is Yun or Yun. In fact, yes, I do. I think I got it written down here somewhere. Here's a shot blocked off the there. Yun Nunez. So very appreciative for him and his services tonight. Operating the camera. Called upon almost at the last moment. So making sure that everything's in a clear line of sight, not an easy job. So we're very appreciative that he's able to do that for us at the NFPL. Inter-Detroit player wanted to foul there, not going to get it. We're going to get a different call instead. This one's going to be on Lopez. Time being kept on the court. Roughly a couple minutes have passed up to this point. 10-8 lead. We've seen, what, 3 goals already? Yes, we have. Vivero Hernandez for the Inter-Detroit side, and Lopez securing his hat trick for Cadence SFC. Rafael Hernandez. That's going to be Ochoa tackling a Cadence player. 4-on-4 now, theoretically. Hernandez keeping possession alive somehow. Sends it out. Sergio Reyes. They're rocking the mullet. You don't see that too often in the futsal game. Hernandez. There's a shot. Able to score it in. His second goal. Olvis Solis rocking the... He was rocking the captain's armband. Not so much anymore. That has been passed to the goalkeeper, Bande. And it almost evens this game up. 10-9 up to this point. It's an exciting match. I wish I was in the court, you know, could feel the atmosphere from the fans all around. As you saw there to your left briefly, was a lot of folks sitting right in front of the net, catching all the action courtside. One of the great things about futsal, excuse me, is the lack of attention to the sport kind of allows fans to be right there, caught up in the mix. I've seen a lot of different courts and facilities where folks are literally sitting courtside, just able to be right there as close to the action as possible. Here's Reyes. Sends it out. That's Hernandez. Back to Reyes. One of the keys of the game for Inter-Detroit was to rotate well. They've rotated very well up to this point. A lot of their focus was to get the ball to their... Oh, excellent save! Edouard Bande! Jumping, stretching out that left hand to say, get that out of here! Ends up being a corner. Chip shot. Bande slapped it out of the air with his right hand. I like that. Hernandez coming into frame. Now stepping out of frame, but Inter-Detroit, their biggest key to the game was to get the ball in the hands of, at the feet of Edwin Gomez, Nate Booz, and Ivan Barrera. But their guys that have come in from Illinois, the connections that Edwin Jimenez has, have really stepped up for this team as well. I wonder how vital they might be if this team, I don't believe they will travel out to Cadence again this season, but if they decide to come out to Detroit for a game or two, I imagine they'll be here tomorrow afternoon for the second half of the doubleheader. Ball dribbled out of bounds by Edwin Gomez. Someone mentioning a Santa Fe game with question marks. I believe that game should be streamed as well. If not, I apologize. I was in charge. I was put in charge of the game you're currently watching, Inter-Detroit versus Cadence. Santa Fe and Colorado currently playing a doubleheader as well. First half being tonight, second half of the doubleheader taking place tomorrow. Here's a quick opportunity, potentially not going to be there. And a pass just a little too far for Ochoa. Barrera playing up top, typically not in this spot. I'm curious to see how that goes. Here's Ochoa, good chance, potentially saved, and it is. Look at some guys walking on the court. We're seeing, oh man, what's going on here? Guys stepping directly in front of the camera, trying to, oh man, this could be getting ugly. I mean, looks like some sort of affiliation's taking place. I'm not sure what the heck's going on. Oh man, you know, hate to see it. There's obviously some sort of chippiness going on throughout the first half. And I guess there's some folks there were some fans that were just not having it. Some of the stuff that is being said, they just decided to walk into the court and decide to take it into their own hands. It's not what you want to see. And it's a bit of a shameful look. I mean, Cadence obviously has a lot of fans, a lot of great supporters here at the Cadence Soccer and Futsal Center in Joliet, Illinois. And tension just rising just a little too high. So it is an official's timeout taken. Both teams stepped off the court, had a word with themselves, and thank goodness there were folks in place to prevent anything violent from happening. I mean, again, just not a very good look for the game, and not very good look for the Cadence faithful. And I know that doesn't represent all of the Cadence fans here in attendance, but the game is just that. It's a game. You want to keep the play on the court. You can talk a little bit, have a little bit of, you know, smack talk. There's nothing wrong with that, but as long as it stays on the court, and when the game ends, you can kind of let bygones be bygones, put your preferences aside, and just let the game be what it is. The referees are going to confer amongst themselves now. Cadence coach is going to talk as well. Some players getting their input in there.
got a ball in this thing.
So it looks like play will resume here shortly. Again, not really sure what took place. But it looked like some fans were just decided to step onto the court, and that's Edwin Jimenez, head coach of Inter Detroit, stepping out. Edwin Gomez stepping back onto the court. Again, what you see on the screen is the only thing I see, so I'm not sure what took place amongst the fans, but whatever it was, hopefully it's just talk and nothing more. We saw some guys walk onto the court looking like they wanted the smoke. '74 of you watching now, thanks for taking a look in. Cadence SFC, their season debut. Inter Detroit looking to get their first win of the season. Big game involved for both of these teams, looking to get sole possession of second place. And play will begin back again. Quick shot, Edwin Gomez not able to capitalize. Ball will stay in play. Barrera, wild shot, will send possession back to Cadence. Camacho now. Gonna turn the ball over. Here's Gomez. That's the shot. Not quite. Looks like it goes out of bounds in favor of Detroit. Looks like a corner. Oh, wanted Barrera. Just a little too much zip on that ball. Inter Detroit still up by 1, 10-9 up to this point. Solis wants that ball. He's going to get it on a side out. Now possession to Detroit. Ball will go out of bounds. Edwin Gomez. Ismael Ochoa. Ball bouncing a lot of different ways. Here's Solis. Wants the inside and gonna find the back of the net from the other side of the court. Hat trick for Alvis Solis. And this game is tied up at 10 apiece. Play resumes very quickly back on the court. Barrera's gonna set that ball back into play. My time's been kind of taken off by that huge interruption there that took place a little while ago, but I would guess that roughly 8 minutes have passed here in the second half. Ivan Barrera wants a shot, didn't know where he was on the court, so goes far wide. A little zip pass, here's Camacho, wants another shot. Open net, off the crossbar, not gonna be able to get it in. Off the woodwork, excuse me. Borja sends it back in. Pass a little too far wide. Possession back to Cadence. Here's Nate Booz. Turnover. Cadence, quick shot off the woodwork again. Near miss. Oh my, that's 2 shots within the same minute that went off the woodwork. First time off that left side and then a second off the top. Now, Inter Detroit's gonna get a bit of a talking to. I'm not sure what's going on there. I can hear some words. I wonder if that's either the referee or maybe an assistant coach or somebody for Inter Detroit's side having some words with them. Arnaldo Camacho talking with the referee on the far side of the court. Looked like some words were said. I imagine that was the referee who is now explaining to Edwin Jimenez, head coach of Inter Detroit, what's going on there. And again, this has been such a fun game up to this point. A little bit of chippiness, which is, you know, what you expect with this Inter Detroit team. But you never want it to get out of control. You never want it to explode into anything that takes place off the court. Resumes play, tried to catch Inter Detroit off of their feet. Here's Jonathan Alves. Almost losing the ball. Not quite though. Shot a little too far to the left. The ball went out of bounds, of course. It was saved, so wanted Solis there, not going to be able to get him. Hat trick for him and a hat trick for Nestor Lopez up to this point. Nate Booz, also another man with 3 goals to his name in this game. Owen Daugherty back on the court. Here's Barrera. It looked like Edwin Gomez who wanted his shot a little too high up. 10-10 to score here. This has been quite an exciting one and one with a lot of emotion and animosity. Camacho wants a shot and able to get through the legs of Xavier Borjas. Cadence has taken the lead for the first time tonight. Arnaldo Camacho had a shot ricochet back into his feet and he's able to capitalize. That's his second of the day. Second of the season, first game for Cadence this season. Daugherty wants a goal. Not going to get it. One at the top left corner, goes a little too far wide. Here's Solis. Chip shot, wants Camacho, not going to get him. He'll get Barrera instead. Daugherty with an open chance on goal. Good defense there to slide in the way. And Bande doing everything he can to keep that ball in play. Quick turnover sends the ball back to Detroit. A lot of commotion to play on that back corner that I'm not able to see. Good save from Bande. It's going to be a corner for Inter Detroit. Nate Booz wants it, not going to get it. Ball kind of being wrestled around there in the corner. Trying to maintain possession for either side. Not sure what the heck is happening. Time is being kept on the court. But I would imagine we're about halfway through the second half here. (11-10) to score. Cadence with that goal from Arnaldo Camacho has taken the lead for the first time today. And again, this is an Inter Detroit team that's led it by as many as 4. Here we go, another one! This time, Jonathan Alves, second of the day for him. 12-10, midway through the second half. Here we go, Daugherty wants a chance at it, going to kick it directly into the legs of Nestor Lopez. Barrera sends it back in, wants Booz, not going to find him. Except he will, that shot's a little too high up. No save needed. Cadence looking for their first win in over a year. They went 0-8-1 last season, finishing last in the Midwest. Daugherty falling over, trying to get that ball out. Lopez trying to keep that ball in bounds. It is going to maintain possession for Cadence. And a win today for them would be huge. It would send Inter Detroit to 0-3, while they would move to 1-0. With 5 games ahead of them, they still control their own destiny. If Inter Detroit loses this one, it would be a very difficult position for them to get into position going forward. Not a lot of shame from this referee. I find it funny. Here's a quick shot. It's going to be saved by Borjas. Daugherty going to try to keep it in bounds. He will. Shot too high up. No save needed from Borjas. who puts it back into play. Something's going on. We'll take a shot, saved by Bonde. Camacho trying to keep the ball in bounds. Not a lot of substitutions for Cadence this time around. I think they like the 5 they got going. Nestor Lopez swings it around. Cadence playing to keep away a little bit. Barrera. Try to take it away. It goes back to Cadence. Camacho. Tight press defense from Inter Detroit. They recognize the position they're in. Very similar to Cadence in the first half, where they're now down with the clock running against them. 2-goal lead for Cadence, the home side in Joliet, Illinois. And if you're just joining us, it's been a barn burner of a game. 15 goals scored in the first half. Time is being kept on the court. The commentator, yours truly, Garrett Pogg, reporting from Ann Arbor, Michigan. So what I see on my screen is what you're seeing, so I can only go as far as that. We're doing our best to make sure everything is accurate and reported correctly. Here's Edwin Gomez near side, as Rafael Hernandez on the other side. Trying to slowly bring their way up the court, make sure that they're in the right position. Daughtery goes out of bounds. Possession will turn over to the Cadence side. Ball back in play, far side. That's Nestor Lopez. Here's Solis. Almost turns it over, and he will. That's Edwin Gomez, the captain for Inter Detroit. Hernandez, the Illinois native, on the court. Barrera back to Hernandez. Daughtery, far side. Off the legs of Lopez. He'll get the ball back. A lot of great playmakers for this Cadence team. Not any one that stands out above the rest. Just a lot of great players here for this side. That shot's going to go off the mark. But for a Cadence team that's looking to compete, really for the first time, that shot's too high. This Cadence team that's looking to compete really well for the first time, really, in their NFPL careers, or in their team's history, I should say. Looking pretty good tonight, and I'd be curious to see how this team fares against Futsal Factory. Next game for these two is going to be tomorrow at noon Central Time, as these teams will play again the second half of the doubleheader. Shot off the mark. I believe Cadence will travel to High Velocity next Saturday to play against Futsal Factory, so we will see how those teams fare against each other. Futsal Factory pretty, I wouldn't say dominant, but just sure-handed wins against Inter Detroit. They've already proven who the better side is. They've won the season series already. Inter Detroit will get one more shot at Futsal Factory later this season. I believe 3 weeks from now. And Cadence is in a position where they don't necessarily need to play super tight press defense. They can kind of sit back a little bit, let the ball come to them. Just make sure they stay on their guy or stay in their zone, depending on which way they're playing. It looks like man-to-man up to this point. With time ticking off the clock here, I imagine we got roughly 6-7 minutes left in the second half. But only down 2 goals in a game where 15 goals were scored in the first half. Here's a quick shot, almost through the arm of Borjas. Go off the mark, but possession goes back to Inter Detroit. Great save from Borjas to be able to cover that one. And miscommunication, we've seen that a couple times for Inter Detroit side. And that might be the story of the game here for them. And if the result remains, and Cadence is able to win their first game in over a year. Oh! Great play design, not able to capitalize, but it goes back for a corner. It is going to be Solis. Lopez kicking it towards the wall. And Inter Detroit's going to take a timeout, possibly their last one before the end of the game. They iterated this earlier, and I want to reiterate it. Is if Inter Detroit loses this game, they will go halfway through the season without a single point. They'll play this team again tomorrow, and if the result holds, I mean, tomorrow's just going to be a must-win game. Otherwise, they're staring 0-4 with 2 games left and no points to show for it. It's a tough hole to climb out of, especially when Cadence pretty much has their entire season ahead of them. With this being their first game taking place tonight. It would be easy to say, you know, they got the whole season ahead of them, but the semifinals only 2 months away. And these teams play primarily on the weekends. Only 6 games each team in the Midwest season. The Southwest has 8 games each, more teams to compete with over there, so that makes sense. And Inter Detroit primarily a soccer club more so than a futsal club. This is a team that they're only in their 2nd season of futsal as a club in their entirety. Last season played for a different league. This year part of the NFPL for their first season. Or first season in the NFPL. 2nd season as a futsal club. Had been primarily a soccer club for many, many years up to that point. Wanted a quick shot was Borjas, not going to be able to get it. Possession remains. Here's Reyes. Gomez. Back to Ochoa. Here's Gomez once again. Cadence just looking to run the clock out. Up 2 goals. Almost unprecedented when you think about how poorly this team competed last year, but this is a completely different team. Cadence, they're full of new players, international players that they've recruited up to this point. Gomez wanted a goal, not going to get it. Before then, Cadence was primarily a youth club, and they would play guys as young as 15 years old against grown men. And now they're able to, since their youth academy has grown so much, they're able to have an entire team, one that's their pro team that plays here in the NFPL, and the other that is a youth team that competes against high school teams. Inter Detroit also has a high school team as well, or a youth team or academy team or however else you want to phrase it. Borjas trying to make sure he doesn't turn the ball over himself. Inter Detroit in must score territory now, but every possession they get just ends up going right back to Cadence SFC. Here's a quick shot. Not able to score. Straight into the hands of Bande. Giovanni Aguilar brings it back in. Here's Solis. Takes some miscommunication on the defense there. Can allow Lopez to potentially score, not quite. No, excuse me, that was Alves with the shot. Saved by Borjas. Borjas back in the net. Wants a shot, great save from the right leg. Now here's Ochoa, gonna get tripped up and fouled. Creates a free kick, a great opportunity for Inter Detroit. Down 2 goals, roughly 3-4 minutes left to go here in the second half. Wanted a quick shot there from Sergio Reyes, not going to be able to get it. It was Ochoa who made that initial pass off the free kick. (12-10) to score here. A nice 3-goal run for Cadence to give themselves a nice cushion, potentially their first win in over a year. Which way is this ball going to go? It is going to go towards Inter Detroit. They need to move quick. Tosses it, far side. Not going to be able to capitalize on it. But it is going to be a corner. Ivan Barrera is going to be the one to take it. Has Reyes near side. Not able to capitalize. What is going on the left side of the court? Here we go. Ends up being a foul in favor of Cadence. That is Arnaldo Camacho tripped up by Edwin Gomez. Wearing 36 on the shorts, but 6 on his regular jersey. Not sure what's going on there. Such a fun game in its entirety. Here's Gomez trying to strike here. Going to be too far wide. Edouard Bande gets it to Camacho. Camacho back with the possession in his hands. Here's Sergio Reyes with a shot. Not going to be able to capitalize. Inter Detroit, shots everywhere besides the back of the net. Here's Borjas again trying to get the ball in quickly. Ball out of bounds. It's going to go the other direction. Cadence, 2-goal cushion. Doesn't need to necessarily do anything too crazy. Just need to maintain his lead for their first win in over a year. 0-8-1 last season. This is a completely different team, able to recruit internationally. Not as many youth players as they had last time around. Here's Ivan Barrera with a shot. Saved by Bande. Side outs. Solis going to be able to keep it in. Ball knocked around like a pinball. And Solis not able to save it. Possession goes back to Detroit. 0-2. They need a win. Only 6 games in a season. Rafael Hernandez. Again, I'm reporting remotely, so I can only see what you guys see. So anytime that ball goes left to the camera frame, I have no direct communication with our camera operator, so as much as I love to tell him to move it around, Barrera wanted the shot, not going to get it. As much as I want to tell him to move it around, I just simply can't. So, Marindo Ortiz, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. We've had a few subscribers here tonight. We appreciate all your support of the NFPL and for the game of futsal as a whole. Trying to grow the game any way we can. Rafael Hernandez handling the ball. Nice laid back zone defense from Cadence. Saved by Bande. Goes out for a corner. Barrera's going to take it. Chips it in. Here's Gomez wanting to score. Not going to be able to do so. Into the hands of Bande. Possession remains with Cadence. Here's Alves. Not able to save it. Detroit continues. They need to move quickly. And the ball goes out of bounds. Moved too quickly there, so the possession will go back to Cadence. Camacho now back. Here we go. See what's going on over there. Bande wanted a shot and potentially a goal. Not going to be able to keep it. Solis pretending to give him the ball back. Not going to do so. Throw there. We had a good shot at both goals, but cameraman moved it back, so a little bit of chippiness going on. Gomez gonna get fouled there. Again, words being had amongst the two teams. Again, only a few minutes left to play in this game. Want to make sure those words just stay as they are, just words. They don't want to have anything too crazy take place, as they have a whole 40-minute game to play tomorrow as well. Here's Gomez, free kick, too far wide. It was saved anyways by Bonde. Need to move quick. Here's Gomez once again, captain for Inter Detroit. And now some commotion going on off screen. Foul call now. Free kick on the far side, it looks like. Not able to see what's going on. No, it is going to be a penalty kick. So Ivan Barrera is going to be the one to take it. Inter Detroit, only a couple minutes left to play in this game. This goal is going to be very important. You think about in the first half, Nate Booz had a chance to put it in off a penalty, and it was saved by Bonde. So you think how that could change the trajectory of the game, how this could have been to tie the game instead of just to go down by one. Here's Barrera. This is so important. Scored a goal already. Has a chance to score his second of the season in just a few moments. Too high off the woodwork. 2 penalty kicks from fouls blown. And it looks like that's the end of the game. We'll look to make sure before we officially call it. Looks like it might just be an official's timeout, as Bonde's looking to get a sense of what the time is. You see the goalkeeper, that far side. So it's not the end of the game quite yet. Still some time here left to go. Just a timeout, looks like, for Cadence. So excellent comment from Erica Vivero in the comment section. In case you're all wondering what happened earlier, when the game was stopped, a Cadence player spit on the face of one of the spectators. So if that is the case, that is outright disgusting, I would say. But I hope that's not the case. I hope that, you know, it wasn't that egregious. But if it is, man, what a bad look here for the home team here. So again, I try to take these things with a grain of salt, but I appreciate the comment section here helping us out, seeing what's going on. And again, thanks to all of you. We've topped out as many as, thank you, Giovanna Lopez, for subscribing. Ball back in play, so the game is not over. Again, Inter Detroit needing to move quickly here, has blown 2 penalty kicks. And in a game where there's been a lot of fun, had both ways, a lot of goals scored. To see something going on. Here's Barrera. Not gonna get that. Here's Gomez looking to put it back in. That's not what you want to do. Just moved a little too quickly. Press defense. Ball off the wall for Inter Detroit. We speculated just a couple minutes left here in the game, but this has gone on for quite some time. So here we go. Potential possession going back, and Borja's going to clear it out. Potential shot off the mark. Looked like that was Camacho who wanted that. Now another turnover here. Ball towards the back of the net. Not going to get in, though. We've topped out. We're as many as over 70 viewers, 64 watching right now. We are very, here it is. That goal not going to go in. That shot, excuse me. Here we go. Gomez. Now going to back. Come on, camera guy, you got to move it. Oh, my goodness. Cadence players not happy. Clearly some sort of foul called on them. Cadence coaches, I should say. Again, we appreciate all of you watching. 60 watching now for the NFPL Saturday night. These teams will play tomorrow at noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That game, though, you're on your own. I will not be on the call for that one. Rather, I'll be on the other side of the broadcast. Oh, so it is going to be a penalty kick. Thanks for moving the camera. Barrera, another chance. Saved again! Bande doing it all! Holy smokes. 3 penalty kicks. None of them have gone in. Excellent goalkeeping from Edouard Bande. Keeping Cadence alive. Not only keeping them alive, it's ensuring them the win. If they had scored on those penalty kicks, they would be up right now. Again, trying to figure out what kind of time is going, and there's some talk amongst the players trying to figure out what's going on. That's Edwin Gomez, and now hands in the face from the Cadence players. And again, our cameraman is just a volunteer. They were able to find him earlier today, this morning actually, to do the game for us. So even though it's not necessarily everything we would ask for, he's just a volunteer, so we appreciate him and his services. Again, we appreciate the comments helping us kind of clarify that earlier situation where guys were starting to walk onto the court and try to take matters into their own hands. Wanted Solis on that, not going to get him. That shot not going in. Here we go, Camacho. The ball in his hands, just trying to maintain possession for the rest of the game. The time being kept on the court, we estimate about less than 2 minutes, although I've been saying that for about 5 minutes now, so. Here we go, Gomez with a chance to keep the ball in. Second half has been a lot more chippier. Hard foul there from Barrera. Ball still in play. Now a yellow card given to one of the Cadence players. Not happy with the no call. Not sure who they awarded that to. It was going to be Camacho there. I'm sure there have been plenty of calls, or not calls, but plenty of yellow cards that I've missed, but as far as I know, that is only the 3rd yellow card of the game. One being awarded to George Musali earlier today, and Owen Daughtery to start us out in the first half. It's been such an entertaining game. You hate to see it get to this. It is going to be another penalty kick. This time being taken by Ismail Ochoa. 2 goals to his name this afternoon. And Edouard Bande has saved 3 penalty kicks up to this point. Edwin Jimenez is not happy about something. The man in the black sweatshirt, black pants in the middle of your screen now. That is the head coach of Inter Detroit. And as such a case with a lot of futsal clubs, he does a little bit of everything. So today, he's awarded the title of coach. I imagine Jorge Medina is standing right next to him. I can't confirm that, though. Also heavily involved with this futsal team. Penalty kick on the way. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh at that. Bande just stood there, didn't need to save it there. That's 4 penalty kicks blown, and that's really the story of the game. The miscommunication and not being able to take advantage of the fouls being called. 4 chances to put it back in the net. If they had scored on all of those, they would have a 2-goal lead. A lot of goals scored here in the first half. Second half, not so much. It's been a game of fouls mostly. Here's Barrera. He wants a shot. He's going to have a chance. Ismail Ochoa, and they understand the situation. They need to move quick, so they will go down just a goal now at this point. Ochoa gets his 3rd goal of the game. First hat trick of his NFPL career. And not a lot of time here left on the clock. We estimate about a minute. Oh, was that the time on the far side? Is that 55 seconds? Being called for us? I don't believe so. It looks like there's a game going on over there. You wish someone was just able to work the scoreboard either in the stadium or away. Here's going to be a shot off the mark. Ochoa wants another one, not going to get it. It is. Some difference among the referees. Here's Bonde on the ground, still on the ground. Trying to figure out whether it was a corner or whether the goalie would get the ball. Now I imagine goalkeeper Edouard Bonde took a shot either from the ball or from the player's foot to the chest or the stomach area, potentially the back. If it strikes you hard enough, it could really knock the wind out of you. Estimating less than a minute left, down by 1. Inter Detroit wants to walk out of here with some sort of points. If they're able to come out of here with a tie, I mean, I don't want to say it would be a miracle, but I mean, with the amount of mistakes that they've made up to this point. And they are going to take a serious look at the keeper. And I apologize if that hasn't been Bonde up to this point. I'm just realizing that Bonde wearing the captain's sleeve is walked up from the bench and then walked back down. So looks like there's somebody else in goal whose number I'm not able to recognize from a vantage point. Shot off the mark. Oh, almost went in too far right. But if they're working with 2 different goalkeepers, excellent job from the goalkeeping staff, the coaches and the players, to be able to deflect as many shots as they have, especially those penalty kicks. Here we go, Edwin Gomez now to Ochoa. Wants a shot too far to the left. Not a lot of time left to go here. Ochoa. Gomez turns it over. Here's Alves, and able to score! Jonathan Alves securing that win. Hat trick for him too. Oh my goodness. To secure the win for Cadence SFC, their first win in over a year. 13-11, most likely going to be the final score. Not a lot of time here for Inter Detroit. Giovanni Aguilar back to Solis. And another goal! Alves once again. 4 goals for him. Securing the win for Cadence SFC. Say what you want about them, they find a way to get the ball in the back of the net. And unless some sort of stroke of luck takes place, they're going to send Inter Detroit to 0-3 on the season, halfway through without a win. And Cadence will win their first game and take sole possession of second place in the Midwest behind Futsal Factory. Cadence just needs to hold on to the ball at this point. They are most likely going to take home this victory. Ball goes out of bounds. Possession back to Inter Detroit. Chippiness still continuing. Chipped the ball just a little too high, but Ochoa was able to return back to the ball. Wanted a teammate, not going to get him. It's going to go out. Barrera to put it back in. Gomez off the woodwork, not able to score. But it was saved by the keeper. I thought it was Bonde, but Bonde looked like he played the first half, but not the second half. So apologies to our guy in net for Cadence. He's played outstanding today. Time being kept on the court. Oh, what a tough check from Ivan Barrera. Here we go, shot just too high for Owen Daughtery. And now a player on the ground. I believe that's Nestor Lopez who took a tough shot. And the trainer now going to take a look at him. And Ivan Barrera, he is a chippy player. So excuse me, that was Jonathan Alves that took that tough shot. But one of the things you have to give to Ivan is that he's tough. He is able to play through a lot of contact, does a lot of muscle in that shoulder and chest area. And he's going to be so essential for Inter Detroit's defense this season, because they're most likely going to fall to 0-3. Not sure how much time is left. I feel like they've added a lot of seconds back on. Here we go. Ochoa wants his fourth goal. Going to be saved by Cadence. Looks like the keeper was hobbling there on his left foot. Hopefully that's not the case. Wanted Daughtery there, not going to be able to capitalize. So in goal for Cadence is Jesus Arendano. Let's make sure that spelling is correct. Avendano, excuse me, Jesus Avendano, who's now on the ground again. If you noticed for a second there, it looked like he was hobbling on his, I think on his left foot, and wasn't able to put pressure down on his right. So I'm not sure what something happened there earlier. He was on the ground a lot earlier in the game, and he's gonna step out. It looks like Bonde's gonna take, he's gonna come back in. But if it was, I'd have to check back at the tape, but if it was Avendano for the entirety of the second half, he's played out of his mind, and so is Bonde too. I mean, the goalkeeping for Cadence has really kept them alive in this game. Now, granted, you can see the scoreline and see, all right, 11 goals. Not necessarily too impressive in one game, but the way it's gone, it's just, this has been a high-scoring affair. Gotta make the saves that count. They've saved 4 penalty kicks altogether. Here's Daughtery. 1-on-2 opportunity, sorry, 2-on-2, excuse me. Opportunity here, Daughtery wants it. Not gonna find his teammate. He had Ochoa, I wouldn't say wide open, but more open than he was there. It's a corner regardless. And we are at the point in the game now where I don't know how much time's on the clock. I tried to estimate the best I could. We had a little issue with fans jumping onto the court to settle some issues that have been detailed in the live chat, as well as some fouls that were heavily argued amongst both teams. So whatever the time on the court is, just not sure where it was. So my internal clock is just not working, for lack of a better term. That shot off the mark from Ochoa. 4 goals for him. Excuse me, 3 goals for him. The only person with 4 goals in this game is Jonathan Alves. Going to be so essential for Cadence this season. These teams will play each other tomorrow at noon Central Time. After that, Cadence will be on the road to take on Futsal Factory. And Inter Detroit, I believe, has a bye next week. So, and it is going to be the end of the game. 14-11, the final score. One of the highest scoring first halves, and probably NFPL history. We'll have to check with the record books on that. Second half, a lot more chippiness, a lot more going on as the handshake line is going to form. These teams will play each other tomorrow. Here we go. Some interactions amongst the Cadence players. It's a good win for them. Chippiness on the court, you hate to see it. But you see the Cadence showing the support to their fans back home here in the live chat. Let's recap some numbers here for you. Ochoa, 3 goals. Nate Booz with 3 goals as well to lead Inter Detroit. But in the second half, Jonathan Alves, with the game tied, scored 3 in a row to put Cadence on top. 14-11, 4 goals for him, 2 for Arnaldo Camacho. 3 goals for Ovi Solis, 3 for Nestor Lopez, and a whole bunch more for some other folks. Thank you for joining us here from Joliet, Illinois. These teams will play tomorrow. I will not be on the call for that, so enjoy that game as well. My name is Garrett Pogg. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.